Okay, in this video, we're gonna learn unit conversion. Keep in mind all of the calculations that we're about to do here from this point on, and including all the calculations in the future, will be involving what we have learned about the significant figures. So unit conversion is basically converting any given measurement from one system of units to another. Okay, so we're not going to read through this, but instead we'll try to work out a few examples to learn the concept. Alright, so here's a question about asking converting a distance of 6.8 feet and then converting to inches. So for any unit conversion, keep in mind, okay, it's very important to clarify to yourself what do you have and what are you trying to find at the end. Okay, what is your starting point and what is your target. Okay, and then you're going to use appropriate so-called conversion factors, which is on the survival guide, module 3, the first page, second page. Okay, now you probably can find this kind of conversion factors anywhere, Google it online. Okay, so basically we need to convert feet to inch, so we need to know how many feet equals to how many inches. Starting number is going to be 6.8, but also we know 1 foot is 12 inch, so this is the conversion factor. A conversion factor is basically equivalent statement that connects two units. Okay, connects between what you have and what you're trying to find here. Okay, the way you set up this is going to use a conversion factor that look like this. You have to use a dash line and have one dimension on top and the other dimension at the bottom. Okay, depends on what you're trying to find or what you're trying to get. Okay, either one or the other. The way you set this up is going to be start with the number 6.8. Okay, this is what you have, and you have to pick the conversion factor that allows you to cancel the unit you start here, which is foot. Okay, now in this case you can see we chose 1 foot at the bottom so that you can cancel the 6.8 foot, not the number, just the unit. Okay, you can cancel it, so the leftover units are going to be inch. Now in order to set up this, you have to have number 1 at the bottom, 12 on top, because that's the relationship between the foot and inch. So because of the setup, you're going to multiply 6.8 by 12 and then divide by 1. So you basically multiply the number on top, divide the number at the bottom. Okay, and so the calculator will give you a number look like 81.6. Okay, if you punch in two numbers, 6.8 times 12 into your calculator, that's going to be what's look like. But also keep in mind, okay, you have to count in significant figures. We're doing multiplication, so we're counting sig figs of the 6.8, which is 2, 12 and 1. 1 foot is 12 equals 12 inches. We already said that. This is a defined conversion factor, which means they have infinite number of sig figs. In other words, we don't really count sig figs of this kind of numbers. So in other words, your answer here should only look back to the number 6.8, which has 2. Okay, again, 12 inch and 1 foot, both numbers here are defined exact numbers. You don't need to count the sig figs of this kind of numbers. Okay, so you only need to count, there's only one number you need to count sig figs of, which is 6.8, and your answer obviously has to follow that one, which will round off the 0.6, round 1 up to 2, gives you 82 inches. Okay, so this is how you do unit conversion. Obviously, this is a very simple example, but I want you to get familiar with the way we set up the conversion factor. The main thing here is notice that what unit you start with, and you always put that unit at the bottom in the conversion factor. So let's take a look at another one, okay? So you're having an iron sample with a mass of 4.50 pounds. At this point, you should know that the 0 here is a significant figure, so you should not ignore that 0. Okay, what is the mass of the sample in grams? So you're trying to convert pound into grams, and you're given a couple of converting factors here. 1 kilograms is this many pounds. Okay, and then 1 kilograms is 1,000 grams. So there are two converting factors here. So basically, you're trying to do this in 2 steps. Okay, first of all, you're going to convert a pound into kilograms, because you have this converting factor between kilograms and this many pounds. And then you're going to convert kilograms to grams using 1 equals 1,000. Okay, so you're going to start with 4.50 pounds here. Now, the way you have to convert this pounds into kilograms is having the pounds at the bottom, okay, and kilograms on top, and then make sure you write the correct numbers in front of the units. So 1 kilograms equals this many pounds. Since this is a very, very long converting factor number, you don't really have to write all of the digits. Okay, usually 3 or 4 decimal places will be plenty for this kind of calculations. Okay, but by putting pounds at the bottom, okay, you can see pounds and the pounds to units. Okay, these are not the numbers, the units can be cancelled. Okay, and then you're going to just take 4.5 divided by the number 2.2046. Okay, multiply by 1 is basically doing nothing. So this first step is going to give you the kilograms, converting pounds into kilograms. The next step is trying to convert kilograms into grams. Okay, again, the kilograms is what you're trying to get rid of, so you're going to have to put the kilograms at the bottom and the grams on top. And of course, you have to make sure that the correct numbers go with each unit. Okay, so it's 1 kilograms equals to 1,000 grams. And then, so basically the whole math goes like this: 4.50 divided by 2.2046 and multiply by 1,000. You can basically mathematically ignore the ones, either on top or bottom. Okay, so this whole calculation will give you 2.04 times 10 to the 30 grams. Now, by the way, here again, you have to count the sig figs of the first number, which is a given number by the question, and then the following that these both converting factors again are exact numbers, so you don't really have to count sig figs. So you're gonna have 4.50, that's 3 sig figs, so your answer should have 3 sig figs as well. The other thing is this number has been written in so-called scientific notation. Okay, if you're not familiar with what scientific notation, you might want to go back to the PowerPoint, read through a couple of slides. It's very simple. Basically, it's a way of writing either a very large number or very small number with different exponent number of 10. Okay, just keep in mind, okay, the reason we're using scientific notation in some of our calculations is because we're trying to keep certain number of significant figures. Okay, so you got to make sure the number in the front, okay, has the correct number of sig figs we need for this question. And second of all, this number has to be between 1 and 10. So make sure when you move the decimal point, okay, make sure that this number does not go to 0.2 or does not go to 20 or something. This number has to be 1 point something, 2 point something, 3 point something, or 9 all the way to 9 point something. It has to be between 1 and 10. Okay, so sometimes we need to use scientific notation, like I said, to express some numbers really small or really big. Okay, all right, so hopefully these two examples will give you a very good concept of unit conversion. Okay, now let's work out a couple of more examples. Okay, so look at this question here. Feel free to pause the video here, the one on top, and then see if you can work it out yourself, and then come back here. We're going to work out together. All right, so this is a question converting 7.62 feet into how many meters, okay? And you're given 3 converting factors. Obviously, most of the time, you're going to use all of them, okay? You're going to convert feet into inches first, and then you're going to convert inch to centimeter. Okay, this is a 1 inch, every 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. And you're looking for meters, so you need to convert centimeters into meters again. So like as usual, we're going to start the number given by the question, which is 7.62. And usually I would strongly recommend students put the number and the unit as well, okay? So the first step is going to convert this into foot to inch. Now, what you're looking for, what your desiring units is going to be on top, what you're trying to cancel is going to be at the bottom. And see, I'm trying to work out the units the correct way first and then think about the numbers. All right, in front inch is 12, in front foot is 1. So basically, 7.6 foot multiplied by 12 gives you number of inches. And the next step is going to be converting inch. I don't want inches, I need to get rid of inches. So the inches goes down here, and then what we're given is 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So this will be 2.54 centimeter on top. Okay, so far we've converted foot to inch, and then now we convert the inch to centimeter. The next step is converting centimeter to meters. Okay, so we're gonna have centimeters at the bottom, so we can cancel it. Okay, you can't cancel two things when they're on both on the top or at the bottom. Okay, you have to have one above there and one down here. Okay, and the meters on top here. Okay, every 1 meter is about 100 centimeter. Okay, so the math goes 7.62 times 12. I can ignore the ones, times 2.54, and then divide by 100 basically. Okay, so this number will come out to be 232 point, I'm sorry, it's 23225, but it's going to be 2.3225. Now when you look at the calculation we've done here, okay, it's going to be looking at this number, 3 sig figs. All of these are 12, 1, 2.54, 100. They are all exact numbers, so you don't need to worry about the sig figs of this number. So you need to keep 3 digits here, which is going to be 2.32 meters. Okay, and it doesn't make sense. Okay, a little bit over 7 feet is about a little bit over 2 meters. Okay. All right, so let's take another look at another one. Again, try to work out this one yourself first by pausing the video and then come back. We're gonna work out together, okay? All right, so here's a cubic. You're given the dimensions of this cubic in inches, okay, width, height, and length, and you're asking for the volume in centimeter cube. So the only converting factor you're given here is going to be 1 inch equals to 2.54 centimeter. So what we're going to do here is we're going to convert the width, height, length, each one of the 3 dimensions into centimeter first, and then we'll multiply 3 dimensions together to give the volume. And then in the meantime, try to keep the correct number of sig figs. Okay. All right. So first of all, width is 1.4 inch. So I'm going to convert this into centimeter on top, inch at the bottom. So we can cancel inch. Every 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. Okay, make sure you write down the units, number, okay, and this will give you 3.556 centimeter. The first question here is, well, since this number has 2 sig figs, okay, I believe you will understand that this converting factor, you don't have to look at the sig figs. So, do we really round this number down to 2 sig figs yet? The answer is no, okay. Remember that we only do rounding for the final answer. You don't really do rounding for the intermediates, but that does not mean you should lose the track of counting sig figs. Okay, so this number looks like 3.556, but we know that because it was calculated from a number look like 1.4, so this number actually really only has 2 sig figs. So highlight that somehow to yourself. Okay, our height is 7.2 inch. Do the same thing, convert this inch from inch to centimeter. Alright, so this is going to be a bigger number, 18.288 centimeter. Again, 2 sig figs, length is 10.2 inch times 2.54 centimeter, 1 inch down here, so you can cancel the inch. Here, the same thing, okay. You just got to make sure the units cancel it the way it should be, okay. This will give you 25.908. Anyway, some crazy long number. But this number starts from 10.2, which has 3 sig figs. So this number has 3 sig figs. Now, the volume, okay, equals to width times length times height. Okay. So in order to get centimeter cube, okay, we're multiplying 3 dimensions in centimeters. So we're multiplying 3.556 centimeter times 18.288 centimeter multiplied by 25.908 centimeter. Anyway, punch all these numbers into your calculator, you'll get a number look like 1684.85 centimeter cube. Now, there are two things we can do here, okay, at least. So one, we need to get the correct number sig figs. We already said that the first number has 33.5 has 2 sig figs, 18.2 has 2 sig figs, 25.9 has 3 sig figs, because they were originated from 1.4, 7.2, and 10.2. So we take the lower number of sig figs, that will be your answer. Your answer should only have 2 sig figs. Okay, so now the way you draw up the rest of digits is not just erase them, okay? You're looking at 1684 and you're basically round this down to hundreds. And you're dropping an 8, so you're supposed to round this up to 1700, okay? If you would like to, okay, you can also write this into scientific notation. We'll take this opportunity to quickly introduce you how to write a number into scientific notation. Alright, so a scientific notation of the 1700 should be aware now currently the decimal point is right here. Alright, even though it's not shown, okay, you can imagine there's a decimal point here. That's why this is 1700 number. And you're going to move this decimal point somewhere, making a number that's between 1 and 10. You can't change what digits are, okay? You can't change what these numbers are. So this number has to be a 1.7. Okay, it has to be a number between 1 and 10. So by going from where it is now at this point towards where 1.7 is, you're moving this towards left 3 times. So that means you're going to multiply by a 10. The power here is going to be 3. The question is, sometimes you may have a positive 3 and negative 3. By moving towards the left, okay, you're always going to have a positive 3. So by moving decimal point towards the right sometimes, so not in this case, you're going to have negative power of exponent of 10. So in this case, this is the correct answer, centimeter cube. Okay.